Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today we're going to be taking a look at that coffee that Nick sent me. Nick, aka New Forest Explorer. This coffee comes direct to me here in Miami from the UK. Let's see what some of the best UK coffee has to offer us. Well, I don't know, but definitely Nick seemed to like this coffee a whole bunch and he wanted me to try it and review it. I think there are 2 samples in the envelope that he sent me. Basically, here you see it. This is the envelope. I'm gonna take it to the other counter and open it up with you guys in a second. Another thing I wanted to report back on is the strawberry coffee from Good Brothers. This strawberry maceration, I have to say, is probably not something that is for everybody, but I think it was a lot of fun trying it. I think it was, like I said previously, it's less aggressive of a thing, I guess, than the one from Black and White. And this one is a little bit gentler kind of flavor, a little bit easier to deal with. And it was a lot of fun. So I think definitely you guys should try it. Now, one thing I want to try to do with this coffee, I'm going to brew it and make it as iced coffee and see what that gives me. I have a feeling that's going to be fun. And here's one of the reasons why. I found like one of the most interesting brews I got from it so far. I did a pour over, I ground it a bit finer than I would normally. And it's still kind of finished at a very reasonable time. It's not like it was a long brew. It wasn't a long brew, but it was a little bit finer of a grind and still kind of like a normal, for me, normal brewing time. I don't remember if it was somewhere around 3.5 minutes. So that's kind of normal for me. But now what this gave me by going finer, and at least, or maybe it was just this one time that I brewed it. I mean, from every time it's a little bit different. Just the way that the water flows through the grounds is gonna create a little bit different flavor. That's why all the time when we do these taste testing, if the person has like a really hard time distinguishing one thing from another or picking out a clear winner in any kind of taste test, you gotta weigh that with a grain of salt, because these are very minute differences. So at that point, who cares, So what I'm saying is that on this one particular brew, it had like this like flavor like hops, like a hoppy kind of flavors. And I have told you guys before that I do enjoy an IPA beer now and then. And, an IPA has like that, like that bitterness to it, like a very strong flavor. And I was kind of getting that on that one cup. And I thought, man, maybe if I were to have this, I enjoyed it like regular the way it was hot. But if I would have had it as iced coffee, I wonder, like what that would give me. Like, I don't know, it just, my mind was running along those lines just because it had like that, kind of like an IPA kind of flavor, which was very interesting to me. I've had some IPAs that are kind of fruity. And this coffee, again, is a fruity coffee. It does have kind of like a medium acidity. It has a good acidity level, but it still has fruity notes. Definitely the strawberry is the most apparent thing by far here. It's hard to pick out anything else. But this one particular time with the really grind fine, again, I got like that flavor like hops, like a nice IPA beer. And then I thought maybe I should have it as iced coffee and see what happens. So I'm gonna try that. Maybe I'll report back to you guys, but I still have quite a bit of it left. Today, if we have time, we're going to do an espresso shot with it. I want to get like a long extraction and see how that makes, what kind of a difference that makes versus when I reviewed it and it was the shot that the gentleman recommended that I try. That was like at 6 bars and it was like a 30-second shot, 1-to-3 ratio. And it, I pretty much, it was my very first attempt at it and I got it pretty much just like that. So, and I found it to be very tasty, but again, like what I always say, it was just kind of high acidity for me. The acidity level was a little bit high. So maybe by brewing it this way, maybe I'll get more of that like hops flavor. Maybe I'll get a little bit more bitterness, but less acidity. So I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna experiment. If we have time, we'll do it. But today it's all about Nick's coffee. We're gonna do 2 pour overs. I'll just do 12 grams because I'm gonna drink all of it. I don't throw away coffee. You guys know that. So I'm going to do 2 brews 12 grams in, 180 grams out, and I'll have both coffees. He said I should try them as pour over first, so that's what I'm gonna do, and give him my opinion, give you guys my opinion. I don't remember what the coffees are. I'm hoping he included some information inside. So let's go to the other counter and do a couple of pour overs. I almost shut off the camera and then I remembered. I mean, today my mind is like all over the place. There are so many things I want to talk about, so many things I want to get into. This video might end up turning out like really long. We'll see what happens. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. So I'm gonna talk about some things today that take it with a grain of salt, okay? Don't take it too serious. We're just trying to have some fun, okay? But there's a few things I want to talk about, and let me make my coffee first so I can. Oh, another thing is that I wanted to mention. Today I'm doing manual focus on the camera to see how this looks. I've already done it on a couple of videos. I don't know if you guys have noticed a difference. I forgot to mention it. But the manual focusing, at least it stops the lens breathing. So you don't get that in and out kind of thing that was really annoying to me. But there are times, depending if I move back or forward or whatever, if I move around, that I could sometimes be a little bit out of focus. I don't think that's gonna make any difference at all. And I don't think that is distracting to the point like it was with the lens breathing. That's distracting and I didn't like it. So, but we'll see. What do you think? What about the manual focusing? Is it working? Should we go back to the other one? I'm sure on the other one I'm a little bit more clear, but who cares? Who wants to see me that clearly anyway? So anyway, let's go to the other counter and do a pour over. All right, so here we go. First thing I gotta do is get this open. No, let me not cut too deep. I don't know where. Yeah, let me be careful with that. Okay, that was like tape. Okay, we got one. We've got two, and I think, okay, this one has a label on it, so I don't want to see that because maybe it has tasting notes. This one has writing. I can't see that unless I squint, so. But anyway, I'll turn it around. So yeah, we got two samples. All right, man, pretty exciting. Directly from the UK, got two coffees. Okay, so we're gonna do two pour overs. I haven't started the Bianca yet because again, there's some uncertainty as to the espresso shot. Based on the length of this video, you might be able to tell what we did. So it might get lengthy anyway because I want to talk about a lot of things. So, all right, let's start the kettle because definitely we're gonna do 12 grams of each. Like I said, I'm gonna grind on the K Plus like I usually do. I'm gonna start at 60 clicks because it's my usual thing. Since I'm doing just 12 grams, I'll use the little Magnolia brewer I showed you guys last time. So let me get these things opened up and give me a second. Let me put this away, give me a second. All right, so the grinder is at 60 clicks. You could see it there. You know what, I forgot to lock the focus. So I think, oh man, I wonder how the focus was before this, okay. All right, let me see where it is I want to put the brewer. That's what I should do. Place the brewer wherever it is I'm going to be brewing from. I think it's going to be here so I can access that. Okay, so I'll lock the focus on the brewer. Okay, now the focus should be locked on the brewer. We're going to brew right here. You guys could see this good. Kettle's coming up to temperature. I'm going to be brewing at 97. Of course, we have to look at the roast level. But 97 is a safe temperature for almost all coffees unless it's like really dark, just off of boiling. Maybe 95. Yeah, you know what? I don't know, let me just heat it up to 95. Maybe even 94. 94, even if it's a medium roast, will be totally fine. Again, depending on the acidity level as well, because if the coffee is medium but it has high acidity, I like to brew it hotter. And again, it helps to extract more flavor, cut some of the acidity. You might lose a little bit on the brightness and on some of the notes, maybe, but you get more sweetness. And that's usually what I prefer. Okay, so let's go to 94 for now and see how it, let's take a look at the roast level and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so cutting this one open with the label here, it's a little challenging. And you know what? I mean, I didn't want to look at it too much, but I think this is a Good Brothers coffee. I don't know. Nick, you sent me a Good Brothers coffee. I think I've tried them all. I don't know. This might not be too challenging. Okay, we'll see. But I think it is a Good Brothers label. Now, how can I don't want to like mess up the label, so yeah, I could get it off just like that. Let's put the label and put it off to the other counter. Okay, label's off over there, and then now I can cut this open. I know this is the one that had the label on it. Well, the other one, yeah, the other one I'll be able to cut it with no problem. I'll put these, now that they're open, I'm gonna put them in some kind of container. I have several containers that I can hold the coffee. They make a site, some of them just give you like a really nice seal on them. Some of them actually do a vacuum seal on it. So if I have those available, I'll use those. You know, talking about coffee storage, if you guys are not vacuum sealing and freezing your coffee, you're missing out. If you want to hold your coffee long term, definitely the best way to go for long term. Okay, so if you guys want to join me with the best of in January, where we can pop a few of these little bags open and go through some of the favorite coffees that you had throughout the year and kind of go along with me when I try to select my favorite coffee for 2024, and I'll do that again January of 2025. You guys can follow along and maybe vacuum seal some of your own favorite coffees for the year, and then we can come up with an overall winner, okay? But definitely vacuum seal the coffee, freeze it, okay? Now, when you're ready to grind it, just take it straight out of the freezer and grind it. You don't have to let it, because at first I thought like, well, should I let it thaw out? Should I leave it overnight outside? But no, the best, all the people that have done research into this process, everyone says that the best way is just take it right out of the freezer and grind it. As a matter of fact, your particle distribution will be better. Okay, you'll get better particle distribution, less fines if you grind it directly out of the freezer and into your grinder. And it doesn't do anything to your grinder or anything. It's actually will help you get a better brew. Okay, by how much? I mean, who knows? I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm sure it's very small difference, but yeah, you can come right out of the freezer and grind the coffee and you'll be fine. That's what I did this past year on my favorite coffees of 2023. That video's already up on the channel. It was, I believe, the last video in January of this year. There were 3 competitors. So far for the next go around, we either have 2 or 3 already. So I think we have 3 already. Yeah, we have 3. We have one from ARP, so the Asia Roasting Project, which I tried right in the beginning of the year. It was a coffee from Taiwan, or roasted. It was a roast profile from Taiwan, roasted by Mojo Coffee. Or the profile was by them. Then we have the current champ, the Good Brothers from Costa Rica with the Thermical fermentation coffee. That is my favorite all-time coffee. I still have that. And then we have the coffee from the Drippolator, which we don't even know what it is. So imagine that one wins. From parts unknown. The winner is the one from the Drippolator. That would be so funny. But that coffee was excellent. It gave me the best espresso shot maybe like ever. I mean, if you haven't seen that video, I don't know if it was a couple videos ago or the last video, I don't know, it was recent. We reviewed the coffee that I brought back from Tennessee, coffee from the Drippolator and coffee from a Honeybee. And you guys should watch that. But definitely that coffee from the Drippolator is frozen because it was outstanding. So All right, back to this, back to Nick. All right, let's weigh out, let's dose out 12 grams. Yeah, I can get to it. Dose out 12 grams. Okay, I'm gonna readjust the focus here so you guys could see what I'm doing. Now remembering to adjust focus and stuff has been a game changer. Okay, so we should be there at 0. Here's our first contender. 12 grams. Again, 12 grams on this little brewer, to me, it's just always works well. Okay, we have 12 grams exactly. For now, I'm just gonna put this off to the side and I'll put it in a container later. But now that's on the other counter, right on top of the label, so I won't lose track of things here and get confused or something. Okay, so 12 grams, 60 clicks. And again, for this little bit of coffee on this brewer, usually it's gonna take about 3 minutes. To grind it, yeah, about 25 seconds. Okay, right away, this coffee, oh, I didn't even look at the roast level. Okay, we could still do that. I'll get some from the bag. But I don't even think I need to look at the roast level. This has gotta be like a medium to light because, or maybe even lighter than that, because it's really hard to grind and the density of the coffee, it's very high when the coffee is a light roast. As you roast it more and more, longer and longer, and the coffee gets darker, obviously it becomes a lot less dense, okay? And it will be a lot easier to grind a dark roast than a light roast. So this has gotta be quite light. I'll show you guys right here. Just give it a few taps. Again, I've talked already about the blind shaker quite a few times. Maybe we'll talk about that again in this video a little bit later because I still have more things that I want to say. There's a lot that I want to get to today. I hope I don't forget everything as I'm doing this here, but yeah, I want to talk about a few things. Okay, so let's take a look at well, you guys already saw the roast level because I showed it while I was grinding, but I haven't seen it. So let me take that picture that you guys already saw and so that I could look at the roast level. Okay, so we have our 12 grams here. We're gonna do my usual pouring structure. I don't change it just because I'm on this brewer. So usually I will do 3 pours. The same like I do on the origami. When it's 180 grams, I try to do 3 60-gram pours. When I do my normal, which is 20 grams in, 300 grams out, then I do 100-gram pours. But first, let's start by warming things up and getting the filter to stick on the walls of the brewer here and rinse it and all that good stuff. Okay, when I use this brewer, I can brew right into the cup because it'll be a little bit overfilled than what I normally put in it, but it's perfectly fine. Okay, we start. All right, you know, here we go. It's not physics breaking down, guys, this time. It's my fault. I'll tell you in a second. Okay, I'm getting the water back up to temperature. I cleaned it up. Okay, here's what happened. I never do like 2 coffees at the same time and I want to brew up, rinse the filter and heat things up and all that stuff. So I needed extra water. So I thought, well, whoever designed this thing, you know, they probably designed it so you could fill it all the way. So I filled it all the way and now you see, no, you shouldn't. This is a Fellow Stag EKG, very popular kettle. And I love it, but now I know you can't fill it all the way up. I had never tried, but you cannot do that because as soon as you start pouring, well, this is what happens. Here's something else. I'm gonna forget like a lot of things. I wanna talk about a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna be all over the place. And maybe not a lot of people end up watching this video because I don't know what kind of a name. Am I gonna call it like Nick's Coffee? Like not a lot of people are gonna search YouTube for Nick's Coffee. So keep in mind, this might have some kind of crazy, name on the thumbnail that I came up with. But I wanna show you guys, the flowers are still alive. I've had these flowers for 3 weeks. Where are these things from? Oh my God. Did I get these flowers from the same place Jack got his beans from? Are they magical flowers? I don't understand. I've had them for 3 weeks. They look better now than when I first bought them. So something else I want to tell you guys, I don't usually have all this stuff out. I hope you guys know that, I don't have these many things out on my counter. I'll show you guys a picture right here of what it normally looks like, okay? And I will show you a picture now, right here, of where I've been keeping that little owls, okay? Which, by the way, I've gotten some comments. The little owls are, these items come from a company called Mackenzie Childs, and they do decorations like kitchen stuff. They're more like art pieces than anything else. And that's where the kettle, this kettle that you guys always see here on the corner where the candles are now. But this kettle comes from them, and the 2 owls, and I keep one turned around because that's how I can get the handles to both be in, and that's how I wanted to have it. But they're both the same, just that's the back side and that's the front side. So, but yeah, the little owls come from Mackenzie Childs. And the little, I don't understand, these flowers, they like look better now than when I bought them. And I've had them for 3 weeks, and they just, they look great. They've been on the other counter on our little spring setup for now. And yeah, so I almost forgot to mention all of that. Okay, let's get back to the brewing. So yeah, I'm not sure if the laws of physics are breaking down again with these flowers. I don't know what it is. They just lasting forever. I'm glad they are, I'm glad. But really odd. I've never had flowers that 3 weeks later look better than when I bought them. That's never happened. Okay, so we're rinsing everything, giving it a nice rinse, getting everything to heat up. The main thing here is that, I want the filter to stick to the walls of the brewer. If you guys, don't know what this little brewer is all about, I already reviewed it. It's from Magnolia. They sell it at Target. My wife thought it was cute. She bought it for me. I'm thankful. Thank you. And I use it for small when I make like 10 grams, 12 grams of coffee. I think for putting very small amount of grounds in the brewer is quite small. I can brew directly into my cup. It's for making a small amount of coffee. And well, you don't have to, you can make more coffee, but for that I have other brewers. But when I'm gonna make a small batch like this is a perfect little setup. I love it. Okay, so now I will dump this water and then we're gonna brew. Okay, so the Fellow Stag EKG, guys, you cannot fill it all the way to the top and expect it not to be messy. Didn't know that. Okay, so start the scale back up. Okay, we're at 0. Let's get our 20 grams, check our retention. Of course, there's no retention on the K+, we know that, but we always check anyway. You will get a little retention if you do Turkish coffee. If you don't know about that, then you haven't seen all the videos. You don't know about that experience. Okay, so let me put, wow. Okay, now I'm getting the aroma. You see, that's the one thing about the cold ferments. With the cold ferments, this part of the enjoyment, you're not gonna get it. They just always stink, so far. All the cold ferments with all the funkiness, they just don't smell good. All right, so let's make sure it's flat. And you know, it was reading exactly 12 grams, but now it says 11.8. Who knows what it is, but it's pretty much the same thing we put in is what we got out. Let me zero the scale. Okay, when I have this little bit of grounds, I don't do the divot like I do on the origami, or I would do on this if it was 20 grams, because then it gets a lot more full and I want the water to kind of saturate everything evenly right away. So I make that divot and then come up from there. When you use this little brewer, you don't need to do that. It's very little coffee. Everything's gonna get saturated. So we're gonna do 60 grams. Again, I'm at 94. I should have brought the temperature up. I'm already making mistakes. Let me just go to 60 grams. Just do circles. For the most part, you want to pour into the metal. Okay, but you know what? Now I'm going to come up to my normal, you know, even more than 97. I'm going to go to 98. I want the water just off boiling. This coffee is like super light. And then what I do is just kind of wait till it's, I could see that the coffee is pretty much drained through. And then we go again. Another 60 grams, so now we go to 120. Okay, wow, I didn't do a good job there at the end, but again, I think it's just because the kettle has a lot of water in it. I'm not used to that. Now we're not getting any kind of mess though, so we're good. You know, I'm gonna swirl it. This is going kind of fast. So if you wanna control your flow and get it to brew a little bit longer, give it some nice agitation, that's gonna slow it down for you. Again, I'm looking for about 3 minutes with this little bit of coffee, maybe 3 minutes. Now you can see how it slowed it down. But yeah, the aroma, excellent, excellent aroma when I ground it and now as it's brewing. Yeah, this coffee smells really good. Okay, now I'm gonna go straight to the 180. I'm gonna pour mostly in the middle. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, 180. I'm gonna give it another swirl, flatten things out, and now we wait. Wow, the agitation slowed this coffee down a whole bunch. It's not usually what happens. This is what happened with the one Carrie sent me, the one from Flower Child. That coffee produced a lot of fines. Maybe this one will be kind of the same thing, that it produces a lot of fines. And so the drawdown will slow down quite a bit. I'm gonna have to edit some of this time out because this this drawdown is taking a little bit too long. I think when there's nothing happening, it just gets a bit boring for you guys. Although I do add the music, try to give you some us. We're just watching paint dry. That's what Hoon says. Boy, it's barely dripping, but there's still a little bit of water in there. I'm gonna wait. All right, now it looks completely dry. Obviously it's completely flat in there because it's just very little grounds. We finish, I'll call it a 4.5. That's a whole minute and a half longer than I wanted it to brew. So Nick, I got this completely wrong. Maybe it works in my favor because it tastes great, but I'm gonna give it a quick taste test and then I'm gonna set up for us to do the second. Okay, turn off the scale. Then you just lift the cup a little bit. You can get your cup out, put something there to catch in case it's still dripping a little bit. All right, let's see. Let's give it a quick taste and give you my first take on the coffee. Wow, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna have to let it cool down, but I'm not getting a whole lot of flavor of anything. I think I got this way wrong. But my first take, I mean, you want my first impression? That's my first impression. I think I did something. You know what? Let me stir it. I'm gonna stir it because maybe it's just kind of concentrated on the bottom because it took kind of long to brew. And usually, you know, I serve it from from my carafe into the glass, and maybe that could be making a difference. Let's see, because I didn't get, wow, I got very little flavor of anything. Okay, let's see. Okay, that elevated it quite a bit. Now I'm getting some flavors. It's still, this coffee, you know, okay, right off the top, if I had to take a wild guess, the one time that I brewed a geisha coffee, that's something like what it was. It was very tea-like, delicate flavor, not a ton going on, but just easy to drink, smooth, nice coffee. But the flavors are not very intense. And usually, you guys know me, lately I've been into like really intense. I'm gonna say maybe citrus, maybe. But with a nice level of sweetness. Maybe fruitiness, or is it citrus? I'm gonna go citrus, but sweet. Orange. Okay, no more guessing. Let me get things ready. Let's brew the other one. I want this one to stay hot. All right, so let's go ahead and rinse this one out and get this started for the second coffee. Okay, I'll add some more water in a second. I just want to get this thing to stick flat there. All right, let's open it up. Wow, that, you know, delicious coffee, I have to say. Yeah, the only one that I remember like that was that geisha. Very kind of tea-like and gentle flavors. Either that or maybe I got it all wrong. So I'll report back, I'll keep experimenting. So this is what the second one is, I'm assuming. So let's put that off to the side there. Okay, we're gonna grind it the same way, do the same process. Okay, we should still have enough water. Okay, 12 grams. Okay, 12 grams. Let me put this one off to the side. I'll put it on the other counter with right on top of the little label so I don't get anything confused. All right, let's taste it again. I don't want it to cool down too much. Wow, it has changed a whole bunch since I first brewed it to now. It's way different. Yeah, the flavors changed a whole bunch. I wouldn't go for citrus now. The acidity level just dropped. Still got some, but not enough to say citrus. Now it's fruitier. Fruitier coffee, sweet. Wow. Man. I'm surprised. If this is a Good Brothers, I'm surprised. I might not have had this one. I don't recall this. I do not recall this. I don't know. The label looked like it, but maybe a lot of companies use that same label. So I don't know. All right, so 12 grams. Let's go to the second coffee. I gotta keep tasting that though. I don't want it. Look at how much it's changed. If I didn't taste it right away, it would have been totally a different experience. Because when I first brewed it, it tastes completely different. It's only been like 3 minutes? Yeah, now the flavor's a lot more berry-like, not so citrusy, more fruity, sweeter. And yeah, definitely less acidity than when I first brewed it. Okay, so we have our 12 grams, 60 clicks. See what this one gives us. Okay, from grinding it, I would say this one, I forgot to take the picture again. Okay, I'll show you guys in a second. I'll show you guys right here. I'll look at it in a second after I grind it. But I'm gonna say that this one, I'm assuming it's gonna be darker. It's just easier to grind. There's no doubt that these beans are less dense. There's no doubt about it. Thought I was done. I guess not. We have some fighters. Okay, couple times. Okay, we got everything. All right, so you guys already saw it, but let me take a look at the roast level for this one. And now it's all the way to 98, so. Man, I have a feeling maybe I got this wrong. I gotta experiment more. I mean, it's delicious. Maybe I didn't get something wrong. I don't know. It's nice, it's sweet, it's fruity, but it changed a whole bunch from when I first tried it. I mean, when I first tried it, I didn't get a lot of flavor. Then I stirred it. Stirring it made a big difference. I got a lot of flavor after that. I got more flavor after that, but it's still, you know, it's still an easy to drink coffee. It's not gonna give you a ton of highs and lows. You're gonna be somewhere right there, right in the middle, with good amount of sweetness, some little bit of acidity. In the beginning, I got citrus notes, but now it's fruitier. Yeah, easy to drink coffee. Nice, gentle flavors, not gonna punch you in the face. All right, so let me take a look at the roast level. Okay, so here's the second coffee. I'm gonna say it's definitely a little bit darker. It's still a light coffee, but this is more medium to light. The other one's a lot more lighter. Yeah, this is a true like medium to light. The other ones are even a little bit lighter than medium to light. That one's pretty light. This one's a little bit closer to medium, and there you guys see it. I don't know. Look at the size, the difference in size of the beans. I don't think you could tell because the other ones, you don't remember, or maybe I don't know if it shows. If you could tell that from what I'm showing you here, there's nothing for you to compare against. But I'm telling you, the difference in the size of the beans is drastic. These beans are tiny, and I have an ongoing little theory that the smaller beans, they pack more of a punch as far as flavor. They give you more flavor. Of course, I'm probably totally wrong on that, but in my experience, it's kind of like what happens. So, all right, let me go ahead and brew this up and see what happens. All right, guys, so yeah, I think these beans are roasted darker. The first one were lighter. These are tiny little beans compared to the other ones. We'll see. I'm gonna give this thing another rinse here. By now, obviously it cooled off, but it's all right. We got lots of water here. All right, let's give it another try. Now it's very little in here, I can stir it. And great aroma. Yeah, I love this. It's very nice coffee. Gosh, I wonder what it is, and if it's a Good Brothers, I wonder what it is. I don't know how I missed that one. Maybe I didn't. Imagine it's one that I already tried. If it is, I brewed it so different here, and something happened here that it's giving me something completely different. Because unless it's the geisha, which I don't think they have it right now, you know, I don't think they have a geisha right now, but unless it's that, I haven't had, because that one is, that's the one I would put in this category. Okay, let me dump this. Okay, and now we can check retention and we can brew our second cup. Again, I always drink all of my coffee, guys. So that's why, you know, when I'm doing this kind of thing, I like to do less because I'm gonna drink it all and I don't wanna, you know, like have too much caffeine, especially since I wanted to do an espresso. I think that's gonna be a no-go today because this video is already gonna get long as it is, and I still wanna talk to you guys when we get back to the other counter. Oh, I forgot, man. Oh boy, it's all right, it's all right. I forgot to weigh it, but anyway, we should have our 20 grams there. I'm sorry, our 12 grams. And by now, it's too late to weigh it. So let's flatten it out. 12 grams in, 180 out, so 3 pours of 60 grams. Try to do that in about 3 minutes. Although with this coffee, it ended up being 4.5 minutes. I mean, the agitation slowed it down drastically. So this is one of those coffees, again, that produces a lot of fines. And what I'm finding out is that, or at least it seems to me like, when it's these really lighter roasts, it just slows down a lot. The one Carrie sent me was very light and it produced a ton of fines. That Bernardina from Proud Mary, that was very light, produced a ton of fines. This one, I already said it, this one's very light. And maybe every time that you're dealing with like a really light roast, you're gonna get a ton of fines. You know, we're always discovering something here. All right, here we go. See what happens here. If that's the case, this one won't slow down as much when I do some agitation. So again, do some circles, but mainly pour in the middle. It's where most of the grounds are, right? Okay. Well, right away, this one is, I hate it when the filter gets this little kink on it. I flattened it out somewhat. But yeah, I'm kind of afraid to do any agitation with this one because this one's going slow as well. You know, I told you guys, this brewer is not a fast brewer. This is somewhere in between the Steadfast, which is even slower than this, and the Origami, which is a lot faster than this. I mean, we're already up to a minute. Okay, let's do our second pour. Okay, I'm not gonna do any agitation here. This is going slow enough as it is. Anyway, whenever you pour, especially with this little bit of grounds, just the pouring action is gonna agitate and stir your coffee around. So keep that in mind. We're using the same water temperature. Maybe for this one, I should have put it down. Again, guys, I'm gonna have to maybe report back as to these 2 coffees Nick sent me because, you know, I don't know if I'm getting this thing right here. Okay, we're at 2 minutes. I'm gonna do my third pour, go up to 180. Wash the sides and then pour in the middle. It went a little over, but that's fine. 183. Let's do, just to flatten it out, Small swirl. Okay, obviously we're not gonna finish at 3 minutes, nowhere near, because it's already 2.5 minutes and it's, it's still all the water's in there. All right, this one by now, it's almost room temperature. Let's give it another taste. No, it's still warm, it's warm. But yeah, we're getting there. I wanted to kind of try them both side by side, but I need 2 brewers, 2 scales, you know, which I could do. I could theoretically do. Maybe next time that's what we should do. Yeah, this was a good coffee. Again, like a geisha. Again, for it to be, for me, like one of those really highly ranked coffees, I would need to have a lot more highs and lows. I would need to have a lot more depth of flavor, just stronger flavor altogether. I don't know if I can achieve that because I was trying to do that with Carrie's coffee and I just ran out of coffee as I was trying to mess with it. And like I said, my very first attempt at it that I brewed it just like this on this brewer was just as good, if not the best brew that I got from that coffee. So, okay, so this is gonna finish pretty much the same like the other one with very little agitation. Yeah, we're done, just under 430, just under 430. So I'm gonna stir it up, give you guys my first impressions. Let me get this out of the way here. So this little brewer is glass, and you know, it's so easy to deal with. You just rinse it real quick and you're good to go. Let me put it back up here. Okay, I'm gonna stir this one up because I saw what happened there. Let's give it a quick stir. All right, let's see what this coffee, UK, direct from the UK, let's see what it has for us. Okay, aroma's totally different. First of all, I didn't say anything when I ground it and stuff like that because I didn't get anything. This one did. This one gave me great aroma. This one, I got nothing. And now, and you know what reminded me of that? Now that I smelled it in the cup, you still don't get much. I mean, there's aroma, but not a lot. This had a lot more aroma and nicer aroma. This one, as far as the aroma, this was the winner. Okay, let's see. Let's taste it. Oh my goodness. Totally different. Totally different. Day and night. Okay, day and night. Totally different. Okay, let me try it again. I wonder how this would do as espresso. As pour over, I would need to brew it a lot faster and in a different way. So that's when the different brewers come into play. You guys saw right now what I was shooting for something and I wasn't able to hit it. So my take on all these brewers is that you could do the same thing. I could do the same thing with this as probably any of the other ones. But it will, I think for what I want to do here, it would be a lot more difficult for me to achieve it with this than if I went, for example, to the origami or to the April. The April with the flat bottom filter, it's so much faster than this that it's day and night. It's like way faster. With this one, I can maybe get it to go pretty much quite as fast, but I would have to grind like super coarse. And that's not what I want to do. So I would grind on the April maybe at 70 clicks. My brew time will go down drastically. But I just finished like, what was it, 4.5 minutes here? the April, the way I'm describing, maybe at 70 clicks, oh my God, I would do the same thing. It would, well, first of all, I wouldn't do 12 grams because it's very little grounds for that brewer. I would do my 20 grams, and I bet you I would finish in probably under 3. You know, it would be like really fast, and see what it gives me in that way. Because right now, this is way darker. This is roastier. It's a roastier brew. It's way more developed. This is like what I would probably use for espresso, especially if I want to mix with milk. I wonder how that would do. But I have a feeling this espresso with milk be great. I can drink it like this. It's not like too dark that I can't have it like this, but it's borderline. It's borderline. Right away, like the acidity, I'm not getting it. Now, again, if I brewed it way faster on the April brewer, way faster, maybe the acidity would come up and I could see it, and maybe. But the way it stands now, there's day and night. Okay, now that I have the cups up here, I re-lock the focus, so make sure it's locked up here. So yeah, day and night, guys. This is way more like what I like as far as filter coffee. This is more like what I would brew if I want to make a milk-based drink. As a straight shot, I would have to try them because it could go either way. You never know with straight shots with me. It could be a light roast, it could be a medium. Usually not like a super dark roast. It's because I don't ever brew super dark roast. The darkest thing I think I've ever done was the Metropolitan from Good Brothers, which was too dark for me. I'd rather the liquid amber, I said it. And the Lavazza Gusto Classico was way too dark for me. I would much rather the Lavazza Rosa. That one is still really dark, but to make with milk or to make in the mocha pot, I could see it. For pour overs like this, this is much better. For espresso with milk, this will probably be much better. So it depends what I want to do with it. That's why I always have like a light roast and a dark roast. I have both on hand at all times because it depends what I'm going to do. Yeah, let's go to the other counter and talk a little bit more. All right, guys, I'm going to have to split up this video. I was editing the video. It's already... I'm gonna still edit some stuff out, but it's like an hour and a half. That's like way too long to, even for me, that's pushing it. So I'm gonna split the video. You saw me brew the 2 coffees, and I was about to bring it onto this counter and talk to you guys about it and guess at the tasting notes and the rest of the stuff. The best part of the video is yet to come. So make sure you come back next week and see the rest of this because it's gonna get really good. But for now, I'm gonna have to split up the video. Oh, one last thing I want to mention is that I'm about to record what will be the beginning of next week's video. Obviously, we already brewed coffee, but since I want there to be coffee brewing in every video, I'm gonna grab a clip for you guys here. You're gonna hear me say that I wanted to try the darker of the 2 coffees that Nick sent me as espresso, and I'm about to do that right now. So I'll film that and include that in next week's video. So next week, we'll have espresso. You guys will see me brew the darker of the 2 coffees as espresso, and I'll put it all together so that you guys can get a nice video with coffee brewing in it. So yeah, we'll put it all together in a way that makes sense. And sorry I had to split it up. I hadn't had to split up a video for a while, but it happened this time. It just got way too long. We'll continue with the story next week. Thank you guys for watching. Please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.